What's going on YouTube? It's the Middle School Math Man here with a video for you on solving word problems using equations. So this is an Algebra 1 topic. So basically there are three types of questions I could ask. Three different types of word problems that we can use equations to solve. The first type is solving for dimensions of a rectangle. So one key part of information is the perimeter. So we should know that the perimeter is all of the sides or all the outside of the rectangle. Just add those together to get the perimeter. So my ultimate goal is to find the dimensions. So the biggest thing with word problems is defining your variables from the start. So we know in a rectangle we have a length and a width. So I'm going to write those down. I'm going to define my variables from the start. So my width is going to be smaller. I'm just going to call the width W. Makes sense. The length of a rectangle is 2 more than 3 times the width. So that's some important information. 2 more than 3 times the width. So we have to figure out exactly how to represent that as my length. So 3 times the width, that's going to give us 3W. And then it's 2 more than that. So it should be 3W plus 2. So really the only tricky part with word problems is just taking the information from the problem and then defining your variables. The other tricky part with perimeter of rectangles, we know that rectangles have 4 sides. So when I'm solving this problem, I need to make sure I account for all 4 sides. With perimeter, we're adding the sides together, so I'm adding them here. So notice how what I just wrote down is only 1 width and 1 length. In a rectangle, I have 2 widths and 2 lengths, so I need to make sure that I'm accounting for all 4 sides. Otherwise, you're not giving me the perimeter. You're just giving me the perimeter of 2 out of the 4 sides. So here you should be able to see that I have 2 widths and 2 lengths, which makes up the 4 sides of a rectangle. So after that, we're just going to solve these word problems using DC-VAM. Using the process of solving multi-step equations. We don't have anything to distribute, so we need to combine like terms. So it looks like I'm going to have 8W plus 4 equals 92. Now we're just going to go ahead and solve this for W. Excuse me, I should not have crossed that out. So it's 92 minus 4. So we're going to get 88. So 8W equals 88. I need to solve for W, not 8 W's. So my answer here is going to be W equals 11. So I'm not done. My goal at the start was to find the dimensions of the rectangle. I solved for the width, but I need to know what the length is. So your final answer, I know my width is going to be 11 because from the start, we said the width was W. We solved for W and got 11. So my length, so just plug in what we got for W, which was 11, into this 3, or into for the W. So 3 times 11 is 33. 33 plus 2 is 35. So that should be your final answer. And then a quick way to check, so we know the perimeter is 92. So we have 2 lengths, which is going to be 70. 2 widths, which will be 22. So when you add those together, you do in fact get 92 as a perimeter. So quick way to check. The second type of problem I could ask you is just finding 2 numbers, what they are. So here, I have the larger of 2 numbers is 7 less than 3 times the smaller number. If the sum of the numbers is 61, find the number. So my ultimate goal is to find out what the smaller number is and what the bigger number is. Or in the problem it says larger, so I'll use that terminology. So I'm just going to call my smaller number x. So my larger number is 7 less than 3 times the smaller number. So if my smaller number is x, I know my larger number is 3 times the smaller number, and then it's 7 less than 3 times the smaller number. So that's minus 7. The sum is 61. We should know that sum means addition. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my two numbers and add them together because I'm looking for the sum. Or it tells me the sum is 61. So sum means add. So then again, DC-VAM, multi-step equations, combine like terms, and then go ahead and solve for x. So I get 4x equals 68. So your final answer, you should get 68 divided by 4, and 68 divided by 4 is 17. So we just solved for the smaller number because from the start we said the smaller number was x. So your answer, you're going to tell me that the smaller number is 17. We need to figure out what the larger number is. So again, just plug in the 17 for x. So we have 3 times 17 minus 7, which is going to be 44. Quick little check. The sum is 61, so 44 plus 17 should equal 61, and it in fact does. So that's how we know we are correct. The last type of problem, I could ask for consecutive numbers. So before we start, we just need to make sure we know that consecutive numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, ... So each number is one more than the previous number. That's important. So in this problem, my ultimate goal is to find like the first number and the second number. So I'm just going to label my first number x. And if I'm trying to find consecutive numbers, so my second number I'm trying to find, like I said up here, the next number in this sequence, the consecutive number, is one more than the previous number. So my next number, I'm just going to call x plus 1 because it's one more than the previous number. And again, sum is 123. So I'm going to set it up as x plus 1 equals 123. I'm just going to add those together because the sum is 123. And then I'm just going to go ahead and solve. So we should get 2x equals 122. So x is going to be equal to 61. So my final answer, my first number is 61. And my second number is going to be x plus 1, so 61 plus 1 is 62. So that is your final answer. Again, the sum needs to be 123, so 61 plus 62 is in fact 123. One more quick little thing. If the problem was asking the sum of two consecutive even or odd numbers, you're going to set it up the same way, except the second number. If you think about even or odd numbers, 2, 4, 6, those are consecutive even numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7, those are consecutive odd numbers. Just keep in mind that each next consecutive number is 2 more than the previous number. So my second number, if I'm asking for the odd or even consecutive numbers, is going to be x plus 2. Because odd or even consecutive numbers is every other number.